Hello, my dear friends. Punarvas Jayakumar here. Today, I bring to you a very interesting video that is land owned in the metaverse. Would it be liable to tax? Yes, my dear friends. Would it be liable to income tax? And if yes, would it be under house property? Would it be under capital gain? Would it be under income from other sources? Would it be under, PGBP? So let's get on with it. But before we go ahead with respect to the tax aspect, what exactly is metaverse? You may have heard, in the recent times that everywhere you would have seen blockchain technology, metaverse, etc. You would have seen. So what exactly is metaverse? You would have seen in the movies, if not for anything. Guys, metaverse is a virtual universe or a parallel universe or a parallel digital world where avatars of human beings will be presented through technology. There is a very nice show on Netflix called Black Mirror that came 2-3 years ago that showed what our life would be in the future. How would it be? How would the digital world and advancement in technology change the way we live in? Right? So we are actually moving towards that reality, my dear friends. So this is the metaverse, where it's the virtual universe or a parallel universe where human beings are objectified there, converted into avatars, and then business, etc., is actually going on. Whether you like it or not, many companies, Microsoft, Facebook, Nike, for example, are creating many metaverses for entertainment, education, and also business, right? So that's what it is. That is the meaning of metaverse. You would have seen India's first ever metaverse wedding recently. A couple from Tamil Nadu. In fact, one of the bridegroom's father also had passed away, so they created a digital avatar of the bridegroom's father as well. So amazing. And they had, actually it was not even India's first, it was Asia's first metaverse wedding, where avatars of the couple were created and you were invited, and you also could create avatars and attend the wedding, right? It was an entire parallel universe where there was food. Guys, you're actually going to the wedding in a digital world. So amazing. Now, many years ago, we would see digital invitation for weddings through WhatsApp. It's still continuing, but it started many years ago. This is not a digital invitation of the wedding. The wedding itself is held on a digital platform. So crazy, right? So this is the future. This is the future, right? A very interesting statistic: across the world, an average person is online, mind you, online, whether through the phone, whether through laptop, whatever, for 6 hours 57 minutes in a day. Mind-boggling number. 6 to 8 hours we sleep, almost 7 hours we are online, whether it's WhatsApp, social media, internet. So basically they are capturing that 1/3 of your day you are actually online. So why not capture? That's why many companies are joining the metaverse bandwagon, my dear friends. And Nike was one of the first ever companies to start a separate metaverse, a digital world called Nike Land. These are all the pictures from that, right? It launched 20,000 virtual sneakers like this, this picture that you see, out of which 98 were limited edition sneakers. So basically it's only, nobody can own it except those 98 people, making them, of course, a scarce collector's item. And mind you, one gentleman paid 130,000 US dollars to own one pair of virtual sneakers recently. This is the level that is happening. So basically, guys, it is a code which is given to you. It's a token. It cannot be replicated. That's why it's called as a NFT, non-fungible token. Fungible means it can be replaceable. Now, if I want to buy something, I can either give value in terms of US dollars or rupee, whatever. I can replace that particular item. Any goods, any service can be replaced by giving money. But this is non-fungible. It uses the blockchain technology. Now, what is blockchain technology? I've already explained in one of the videos. You can go to the description. You can go to the description and click on that basics to blockchain technology. It's a 40-50 minute video. If you want the full course, you can go to my website SKILLZILLA and understand the basics of blockchain technology, basics of cryptocurrency. It's a 3-hour course, which is at very reasonable rate. If you want to do that, you do that. Otherwise, you can check the video, which is the basics of blockchain, which is there in the description. You can check it out. Anyway, so basically all these metaverses use blockchain technology to create this alternate amazing digital world whereby you can obviously trade. Morris Garages is the first ever automobile company to obviously start a NFT again. So NFTs were sold recently by Morris Garages, MG. So if you see, every company is lapping it up because of this thing that I showed you. 7 hours a day, if I actually am online, obviously I need to make use of it, and many companies are jumping on the bandwagon. So as far as tax on land, what is it? Is it house property? So metaverse marketplaces combine the capabilities of VR, which is the future virtual reality, where you switch on, put on these glasses, and you can see everything as if you are living that particular life. Blockchain and NFT technology, that is your non-fungible token, as I explained, to create a virtual space. So think of it, picture this, guys, you are entering a mall. A virtual mall is built purely on blockchain technology networks in metaverse, where users can actually buy commercial places. You can actually go shopping in your 3D avatar, right? So you can create that virtual real estate. Virtual real estate is being created, and many people are investing, many large companies are investing, they're leasing, they're advertising and developing it to deliver, an immersive experience for the user. So we are, in fact, even our Ambani ji, Motabhai already has invested through a company in Bangalore called Tesseract. They have already created Geo 3D glasses, and those Geo glasses are the one of the first India's virtual reality glasses. So going forward, all these things will come into play. I've already explained in my classes also as how VR would be a actual reality. It's not even virtual. It will be a reality in the future, right? So now, can I own a piece of land in the metaverse? Yes, my dear friends. So land here are portions of metaverse which are available for ownership. So metaverse, this entire metaverse, the land is actually denominated or measured in tiles. So you can buy one tile. The smallest measurable unit, it's called tiles. It cannot be further broken down. Each tile is a block. Through the blockchain technology, it has a particular block ID, it has a geolocation in the form of the longitudinal and latitudinal thing, and it is non-fungible. Now, what is this blockchain? Again, I request you to watch that free video which is there in the description to understand what is blockchain technology. So, guys, this is a portion of metaverse which you can own. They are edited by their owners, so you can actually have these assets to create experiences to somebody else. You can buy a pack of these assets and it will become a parcel. It can become an estate also. So people are buying, I'm seeing many news items where people are buying 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs worth of assets that is land on metaverse. Now this land, virtual land, coming to our Indian income tax, as you know, that recently the virtual digital asset was defined by Nirmala Sitharaman ji. And also we have taxation on the cryptocurrency. A new section also was inserted, 115 BBH. So we need to understand whether land would be a virtual digital asset and whether it would be taxed. If yes, now for example, I buy land and I rent it out to you. If I buy land and rent it out to you, what would it be called as? All that is something that we need to check. For example, that wedding that I told you, this wedding was done on a website called Tardiverse. It's the first ever Indian startup speaking about, metaverse. So you can have, using blockchain, you can go for insurance, you can go for the Tardy World, Tardy Galleria. Tardy World is where that Indian couple got married. So my friends, this is the future. Now, this is a company which is actually providing you, probably they own land and they are going to rent out that convention hall to you to get married. Crazy, right? Now for them, is it PGBP? Is it income from house property? What is it? Income from other sources? What is it? Is what we need to discuss. That's an example I'm telling you. This is what it is. So guys, is it house property? Let's take, for example, I own a piece of land on the metaverse and I rent it out to Nike or some other company who wants to use that space to sort of sell some digital assets. My dear friends, you may be looking at me like, what is this guy speaking? This is the future. I'm not joking. I can own a piece of land on metaverse and I can give it out to you, rent it out to you. You can put your shop there and you can actually start selling stuff. Now the thing is, don't look at me as, we are talking some Greek and Latin. This is the future, mind you. That's why I was very intrigued and this piqued my interest. So that's the reason why I thought I'll do this video for you guys to just explain basically. Now, house property, if you see, it is either a building or a land appurtenant to a building as per the definition, right? So if you see various cases, and if I just picked up this case, Sohan Singh was ITO, a pretty old case. They say the meaning of the word building cannot be restricted merely to a dwelling house, it says. The legislature has in its legislative intent used the wider term, namely building instead of the word house, right? They've used the word building. And also land appurtenant thereto, to the particular building. So it is to be appreciated that the income which is to be taxed as income from house property is not at all restricted to just that mere building or a dwelling house, but even the land, to it. Now the question is whether this land is tangible or could it be intangible also. Now that is where the government has to define virtual land. They have to add that particular thing into this as well if they want to tax it under income from house property. So by the standard definition, if you see, and the meaning, if you see, obviously the building and the land should be a real land, which is tangible. But the thing is, if at all, if income from house property, the head of income will not get attracted, then of course there is no standard deduction of 30% also to the SSC. Now, if not here, then where will it go? Will it come from income from other sources? For this company called Punarvas, they are doing this as a business. So that definitely would be PGBP, right? That definitely would be profit and gains from business and profession. But for me, if I own a land and then if I give it on rent, the virtual land, would it come under house property or would it come under income from other sources? Since there is no definition, it's not very clear here, it will go under income from other sources as of today, until they come with the changes again. Very interesting. Now, running an e-commerce business or hosting an event like the Tardiverse, for example, any income from running an e-commerce business in the Metaverse shall be charged under PGBP as I discussed. If not so, like for me, if I just rent it out, I am not running it as a business, then it will be IFOS because the virtual land has not been inserted in the house property sections. That's the reason. That's what it is. Now, a new clause, clause 47A has been inserted recently to define what is virtual business asset. The first part, any information or code or number or token generated through cryptographic means, is basically your cryptocurrency. There are so many, you have Bitcoin, we have discussed in the basics also, one guy called Satoshi Nakamoto was the guy who actually started this thing. Then we have your Dogecoin. You would have seen Elon Musk playing around with Bitcoin, Dogecoin, with the Shiba Inu dog there. So many things are there, guys. The first part of the story, because they were highly unregulated, the government decided to tax cryptocurrency. The part number A speaks about cryptocurrency. Even investment schemes in cryptocurrency is also taken into account. Second one, non-fungible token. As I discussed, non-fungible token. As I told you, MG gave out their non-fungible token. Nike sold their shoe. That's an NFT. So that also would be taxed. Now, if I buy that shoe for $130,000 and sell it to somebody else who is more madder than me, he wants to buy it at $180,000, assume. So would that be, now my dear friends, would that be what? PGBP? Am I doing it a business or is it a capital gain is what we need to discuss, right? This is, I'm talking about the goods. What about land? Let's stick to land now, right? Goods, anyway, we know. What about land, my dear friends? Third one, you see, very interesting, any other digital asset as a central government may by notification in the official gazette specify. So my dear friends, the virtual digital asset definition has a clause C which speaks about any other asset which can be added here. So I suppose the virtual land has to come in this. If it comes in this, then the taxation aspects will change. So assume the virtual land will come under the definition of C, that is any other digital asset as a central government may by notification in official gazette, if they specify like that, what would happen? So this would come under 115 BBH. It's a new section that has come. Any income arising from the transfer of virtual digital asset, my dear friends, shall be taxed at the rate of 30%, plus of course your surcharge and cess. No deduction of any direct or indirect expenditure except the cost of acquisition of the VDS, if any. No other direct or indirect expenditure will be given for this. Third one, any loss arising from the transfer of a virtual land shall not be allowed to be set off against any other income. This, my dear friends, if the government decides to include the virtual land in the definition of VDA, still we have to await the notification in that regard. That's how it is. Now, what if there is no clarity at all? If there is no clarity at all, what to do? So then I'll have to go to capital gain chapter and see whether it will come under capital gains, my dear friend. So if you see, if I see the definition of capital asset under 2 clause 14, capital asset means property of any kind. Beautiful. Property of any kind held by an SSE, whether or not connected with his business or profession. Wonderful. So if you see, this has a wide meaning. So I'll just take up one of the cases, CIT versus Tata Services. It says The word property used in the section 2 clause 14 is a word of widest amplitude, and the definition has re-emphasized the use of the word of any other kind also. Property of any kind. So my dear friends, 100% the virtual land will come under the definition of capital asset. If they do not notify the virtual land under 2 clause 47A, that is the virtual digital asset, right, then it will come under here for sure, 2 clause 14, because it's of any other kind. So that's what it is. If virtual land is not notified, the income shall be transferred, it shall be taxed as a normal capital asset. A virtual land held for more than 36 months shall be treated as LTC, long-term capital asset, and the income arising from such transfer shall be taxed at 20% after indexation, of course. Short-term capital gain, same way, whatever it is. Now, July 1st, 2022 onwards, this is for the VDA, virtual digital assets. TDS obligations also begin at the rate of 1% for the person paying the consideration. So if I pay some consideration in in this NFT, etc., I have to deduct a tax of 1%. So as of today, these are the interesting case with respect to land, my dear friends. So I am restricting my discussion only to land. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to know more about blockchain, see the description and check out that video. And if you want to do more in depth, anyway, I have a 3-hour course for you. It's reasonably priced at some 500 rupees or something. You can take it up if you wish to. Anyway, even if you don't wish to, it's fine. This video will help us. This is how we connect, technology, advancements in technology to our subjects. Thank you, my dear friends. This is part of the knowledge series. Punarvas Jayakumar signing off. Take care.